Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent countless hours getting lost in the incredible world of Greek mythology. It's a universe brimming with epic heroes, powerful gods, and, let's be honest, some seriously terrifying and fascinating creatures. Today, we're diving deep into the legendary tales of three iconic Greek monsters: the monstrous Cyclops, the majestic yet wild Centaurs, and the cunning, enigmatic Sphinx. Get ready to explore their origins, their most famous encounters, and the lasting impact they've had on our imagination. So, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a mythical journey. First up, let's talk about the Cyclops. Imagine a being of immense size and strength, with a single, piercing eye staring out from the center of its forehead. That's the Cyclops. In Greek mythology, there are primarily two types: the elder Cyclopes, sons of Uranus, and Gaia, who were master craftsmen and forged the thunderbolts of Zeus, Poseidon's trident, and Hades' helmet of invisibility. These guys were less monsters and more divine artisans than there are the younger, more famous Cyclopes, like Polyphemus, who were often depicted as savage, pastoral giants living in remote lands, notorious for their brute strength and cannibalistic tendencies. Polyphemus is undoubtedly the most famous Cyclops, largely thanks to Homer's epic, the Odyssey. Odysseus and his crew, stranded on the island of the Cyclopes, stumble upon Polyphemus's cave. What starts as a search for supplies quickly turns into a nightmare as Polyphemus traps them, devouring several of Odysseus's men. Now, Odysseus, being the clever hero he is, devises a brilliant escape plan. He gets Polyphemus drunk on wine, introduces himself as nobody, and then, while the giant is in a stupor, he and his men blind the Cyclops by driving a sharpened stake into his single eye. When other Cyclopes hear Polyphemus's cries for help and ask who is attacking him, he bellows, "Nobody is hurting me." This legendary cunning allowed Odysseus and his surviving crew to escape by clinging to the bellies of Polyphemus's sheep as they were let out to pasture. The story of Polyphemus perfectly illustrates the clash between brute force and intellectual cunning, a recurring theme in Greek mythology. It teaches us that brains often triumph over brawn, even against seemingly insurmountable odds. Moving on from the solitary terror of the Cyclops, let's gallop into the world of the Centaurs. These creatures are a fascinating blend of human and horse, the upper body of a man joined to the body and legs of a horse. They are primarily known for their wild, untamed nature, often symbolizing chaos, passion, and unbridled instinct. Most centaurs were said to be children of Ixion and Nephili, or occasionally Apollo and Stilbe, and inhabited the mountainous regions of Thessaly. Their dual nature, part human, part animal, made them a compelling symbol of the struggle between civilization and savagery, reason and instinct. The most famous centaur tale involves the wedding feast of Pirithous, king of the Lapiths, and Hippodamia. The centaurs, invited as guests, got wildly drunk on unmixed wine, a big no-no in ancient Greek culture, where wine was usually diluted. In their inebriated state, they attempted to abduct the Lapith women, including the bride herself. This sparked the famous Centauramachi, a brutal battle between the Lapiths and the Centaurs. It was a chaotic and violent conflict, often depicted in Greek art as a metaphor for the struggle between the civilized Greeks and the barbaric forces. The Lapiths, aided by heroes like Theseus, eventually defeated the Centaurs, reaffirming the triumph of order over chaos. However, not all centaurs were wild and violent. There was one notable exception: Chiron. Unlike his unruly brethren, Chiron was known for his wisdom, knowledge, and gentle nature. He was immortal, a son of the Titan Cronus, and was revered as a great teacher and healer. Many of Greece's greatest heroes, including Achilles, Heracles, Jason, and Asclepius, were tutored by Chiron in subjects ranging from medicine and music to hunting and prophecy. He lived a solitary life on Mount Pelion, offering guidance and education to those who sought it. Chiron represents the ideal of the wise old man and the potential for even the wildest beings to achieve greatness through discipline and knowledge. His tragic death, accidentally shot by a poisoned arrow from Heracles, is a poignant story of sacrifice and virtue, and he was eventually placed among the stars as the constellation Centaurs. And finally, we arrive at one of the most intellectually challenging and mysterious creatures, the Sphinx. Originating from Egyptian mythology and adapted into Greek lore, the Greek Sphinx is typically depicted with the body of a lion, the wings of a large bird, and the head of a woman. Unlike the benevolent, protective Egyptian Sphinx, the Greek version was a malevolent and dangerous monster, a harbinger of doom, often associated with misfortune and destruction. She was said to be the daughter of Orthrus and either Echidna or Chimera, making her part of a truly terrifying lineage. The most famous encounter with the Sphinx comes from the tragedy of Oedipus. The Sphinx was sent by the gods to the city of Thebes as a punishment. She positioned herself outside the city gates, and every traveler who wished to pass had to answer her infamous riddle. What goes on for feet in the morning, 2 feet at noon, and 3 feet in the evening? Failure to answer correctly meant instant death and consumption by the Sphinx. The city of Thebes was plunged into despair, and many lives were lost to the Sphinx's cruel game. Then came Oedipus, a man burdened by his own tragic prophecy. When he encountered the Sphinx, he calmly listened to her riddle. His sharp intellect allowed him to decipher the answer: man. A human crawls on all fours as a baby in the morning of life, walks on 2 feet as an adult in the noon, and uses a cane, a 3rd foot, in old age, the evening of life. Upon hearing the correct answer, the Sphinx, defeated and humiliated, flung herself from her rocky perch and died. Oedipus's triumph over the Sphinx not only saved Thebes, but also marked a pivotal moment in his own tragic destiny, setting in motion the events that would fulfill the prophecies surrounding him. The Sphinx's riddle embodies the power of intellect and the idea that knowledge can overcome even the most terrifying threats. It highlights the importance of critical thinking and the human capacity for problem solving. So, there you have it, 3 incredible Greek monsters, each with their own unique stories and lasting legacies. The Cyclops reminds us of the dangers of brute force and the triumph of cleverness. The Centaurs show us the eternal struggle between our wild instincts and our capacity for reason, with figures like Chiron offering a beacon of wisdom. And the Sphinx challenges us with her riddles, proving that the sharpest mind can conquer the most fearsome foe. These creatures aren't just exciting characters in ancient tales. They're profound symbols that continue to resonate with us today, exploring universal themes of good versus evil, nature versus civilization, and the power of the human spirit. Greek mythology is a treasure trove of these kinds of stories, full of complex characters and deep meanings. These monsters, though terrifying, often serve as catalysts for heroes to prove their worth, challenging them to grow and overcome obstacles, both external and internal. They teach us about courage, cunning, and the enduring power of the human will. What do you think? Which of these monsters fascinates you the most? Have you read any other cool stories about them? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey into the mythical world, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, And do UNT forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you do UNT miss out on our next adventure into the ancient world. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.